But it's so hard. Yes, I know it's hard. Look at my hands. Look at my side. So this week I was in the shower and I had this just random, just a couple of strands of thought go through my head, right? And I was thinking about some kind of situation. I have no idea what it was, right? You ever get mad, you look back, you're like, you have no clue why you're mad.
Yes.
And so whatever this situation was, I realized that in my head, I was playing prosecutor, not defense attorney. I was building a case against someone in my mind for no reason. Well, this could have meant this, and this could have meant this, and this could have meant this, and boom, 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 and then way up over here. And the Lord's like, why aren't you defending them in your mind instead of prosecuting them in your mind? And I was like, oh, glory to glory, eh? What if we just expect the best in people? What if you find out someone's been talking about you and saying nasty things? Oh, but I know who they really are. I remember who they really are. I'm not going to allow my mind to go somewhere that identifies them or classifies them as someone they're not. I'm not going to go there. That's garbage for your mind. Because you start having those thoughts, that person walks into the room.
It does that.
It literally does that. And one of the tools is, okay, I can have a conversation with that person. But you won't have to have a conversation with that person if you don't first have a conversation about them in your head with your own mind and your own feelings.
That's a good word, Dave.
Does that make sense?
That's good counsel.
The Lord's like, why are you prosecuting someone I died to defend?
So good, Dave.
You know? So our minds can mirror this.
Wow. Jesus. Keep talking, Lord. Keep talking.
But not us going through it, but us deciding that someone else is here, and they might be here. They might have the answer that we need. But we're unable to see it. I was like, I'm so glad Papa Leaf came and he got to share the message on the orphan spirit. I really hope our students got something out of it. Later on, some of that orphanness is coming out of me. I'm like, oh, glory to glory. I had to get the 6 layers of orphan spirit off me to get the 7th. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm just saying, if you let the sifting happen right away,
That's good.
That's right.
it doesn't become this irritant that needs to be cleaned out later.
That's good.
You know? And then you get a little piece of sand in your shoe. I mean, we live at the beach, right? You walk around all day with it. Oh man, I got a sore on my foot because that piece of sand. Well, if you just take it off right away. Oh, I don't need that. Thank you.
That's right.
Because sand in your shoe will give you a sore soul. You know, the Holy Spirit is in this noggin if we let him. So we actually have to try really hard not to be free. If you really think about it.
So good.
Because every time a bad thought or temptation comes, isn't there like a white shining doorway, like right there? He's like, hey! Come up here. Come up here. I want to feel bad about myself right now. Come up here.
That's so good.
It's good, Dave. Come on.
Yep.
That's it.
See, when we were skaters and we would fall over and over and over again, the other skateboarders didn't surround me and start kicking me in the face because I didn't land the trick.
That's right.
They're like, bro, you almost had it, man. Just stick that landing. Just go for it. Just be brave.
Yeah.
You know, that it's encouragement every time.
Yes. Thank you, Lord.
And it's weird because, I mean, this is my experience, but we all have our things, right?
Yeah.
So if I have a camaraderie with someone who's a skateboarder, oh bro, just like, flip it a little bit better, you'll stick it next time. And like we can watch each other fall for hours. Because we know sooner or later we're gonna land it.
Come on, Dave.
I want to see you do that at the skate park.
You're going to land it.
That's right.
Thank you, Lord.
You will stick your landing. Stick it real good. If I'm at a skate park and someone falls and I go, man, bro, you suck. That doesn't make me a better skater.
That's right.
If I know how to do what he's trying to do, and I criticize him for not instead of coaching him, but hey, ooh, I see what you're doing there. Let's try it this way. You have permission to fall.
Yes.
You don't have permission to stay there.
That's right. Yes.
I've fallen thousands of times. And like I said before, the worst part of the fall is choosing not to rise. Because that's not the enemy's end goal, isn't the act of sinning or stepping outside of his image for a moment. He wants you to stay there.
Yes.
And as soon as you do, he's like, oh, you should not have done that. They won't accept you. And he starts, they won't. So he uses words to get you isolated. It's like you're trying to tame a dog, right?
Yes.
Give up your freedom. Hey, stay. And then he kicks you. It's a day-to-day thing. That's why even like I said, the sun can be shining, burning bright. I mean, I come from straight glory to straight how in the world, like 30 minutes later, seriously.
Yeah.
How in the world did I get here? And one of the easiest things you can do is that we often forget to forgive ourselves for getting there in the first place.
Okay.
Oh. Dave, I forgive you. Fair one.
Yeah. Okay.
But sometimes it's like we forget to forgive ourselves, then we try to remind ourselves of who we are while we still are placing debt on top of ourselves that we have to somehow magically undo. I would fall. I'm going to fast 40 days. I'm going to eat nothing but helium. I won't even breathe air. I'll have balloons galore. I'm going to do it this time. And then all of a sudden I would hear the song, never again is what you swore the time before. Oh my gosh, I can't do it. I can't. That's why I love this life being vulnerable. We didn't come here to present to you some imaginary Christian life that's painted with perfection. Because that would be really boring.
Yes.
Humankind's attempt to create utopia always turns into steel buildings, rules, walls, and no one being free. Because everybody has to conform to something that's lower than the image of God. But that's why it says we both behold him, we'll be like him. It's talking about being healthy. Yeah, I want to shine like a light bulb. But part of shining like a light bulb is being healthy. And if something tries to attack my system, I've got these antioxidants now, right? Vitamin C, vitamin D, shield of the spirit. I know, I was going to try to think of some more. I was like, I just need to stop now. I landed that trick. Don't mess it up. Let me do a bigger one. One time. But in falling, you know that next time you have the ability to not. That's not saying be perfect, but now you know the territory. It's like walking the trail in the woods. There's a root. You stumble, you trip, you fall, but you walk that thing long enough.
Come on.
Ugh!
Na, na, na.
I've been transparent that I used to struggle with pornography. If I'm on my phone and something all of a sudden scrolls up there, I'm like, oh, not going to do that. Because I've walked that trail. I'm not going to keep walking that. Right?
Right.
I mean, and again, the enemy tries to overdo what you do. You know? He says, don't look at a woman lustfully with your heart. Well, the word in Hebrew or Greek is to glimpse or to gaze. You can see something. Oh, she's beautiful. That's great. That's fantastic. Or, what do you do with your mind? But the enemy says, ooh, you did that. You have this one thought about this coworker. Ooh, they are horrible. Ooh, he likes to just compound something that's not actually sin, but he tries to convince you that you're actually sinning when you're not, and so you come into agreement with him.
That's good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I object. That's why the enemy kept saying over and over again, has God said? Are you a daughter? Are you a son? And when the enemy came to attack Jesus, what did Jesus say? The Lord has said. Because he tried to do the same thing with Jesus that he did with Adam. He just happened to run to the Lord of glory himself, eyes burning on fire. Why are his eyes on fire? Because he's burning for you. So if you find yourself in the pit, it's okay. The lions have no authority to eat you unless you believe that they do. I mean, think about it. Daniel's in there all night long. And the next day they threw his accusers into the pit and their bones were broken before they hit the floor of the cave. Before they hit the ground. So how did Daniel survive the fall? Because just when you think you're down and out, there might be you might see a little opening in the cave that leads to glory realms.
Yeah.
I believe in you. Shine by being healthy. If you hear a voice in your head that sounds a lot like yours saying don't shine, that's not you. That's not who you really are. Sometimes the way the Lord speaks to us is the voice we recognize the most, which is our own. So the enemy tries to be a little copycat. I don't know if you should go to that school. I don't know if you should give money to that person. What if you don't have enough money later? I don't know if I should do this or that or this or that. Wisdom is a little bit safer, closer to the shore. But there might be a waterfall ahead. Well, if there is, whee! So there are a couple of practical tools. Rise. Forgive yourself. Be a defense attorney for yourself and for others. Ascend the hill. Never stop ascending. You're already seated next to him, but so is John. What was John listening to at the Last Supper? Bum, bum. Bum, bum. Bum, bum. The sound of the heartbeat of Jesus causing his eardrum to do what it was created to do. Why do we have ears? Bum, bum. Where's that heartbeat? Where's that vibration in your life? Bum, bum. I was in the Spirit on the Lord's Day at the lowest point of my life. And I heard a voice saying, come up here. And I will show you what must take place after this. Because he's the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. There's always a future in him. The enemy tells you that your past has destroyed your future and it makes you miserable in your present.
That's good.
But Jesus says, I've redeemed your past, and I'm already waiting for you in your future. Woo-hoo-hoo. And we're partying. But it's so hard. Yes, I know it's hard. Look at my hands. Look at my side. I have the answer for you. I know it's hard. Take my yoke upon you. It's easy. My burden is like, watch, I'm going to carry the load. How you doing? I'm doing good. Oh, I know you are.
Come on.
There's a thing by Graham Cook, and I haven't listened to it in a while, but I listened to it for over a decade. And it's called Rise a Warrior. I don't know if it's still available.
Yes.
And he just says simply, he loves you because he loves you, because he loves you, because he loves you, because he loves you. It's still on YouTube, Inheritance. Why does he love you? Because he does. Did you know that, I just learned this, right? Way is actually I am. And Yahweh is what he is. So when Moses says, who will I say sent me? He says, Way. So when they ask him, who sent you? He says, Yahweh. And Leif puts it like this. He says, I am. And then we say, you are. And then everyone around us say, well, he is. So what's the fourth or fifth thing you can do? I don't know. I do. You do know. I'm nothing. I'm everything. I now see why Leif acts so goofy all the time, because he's got so much joy. Because he's been there. And he showed you, he said, look at my scars. It isn't glory in those scars. He says, look at my scars. Look at what he has done. Let's all stand up.
So good, Dave.
Way. Yahweh. You are Lord. You are everything, God. You rule and reign over every heart in this room. You rule and reign over the city. You rule and reign over every person and everything that we're connected to. You exist outside of time. So right now, even though we're right here, right now, you're actually active in our past, redeeming our timeline. So instead of looking back at your past and saying, I shouldn't have, ought to, had, you're going to look back at your past and say, ooh, look what the Lord has done.